I don't know if you guys know of the account in Genesis chapter 27 where Esau has his promise stolen from Jacob. It is such a powerful lesson in how the spirit realm works and how the enemy uses people to come and try to steal the promise God has given you. So we're going to look at this from a spiritual perspective. So you have the father, who is Isaac, and he's blind and he's near death and he expects to die at any moment. So he tells his son Esau, his oldest, who's a hairy son, he says, hey, I need you to go out. I need you to find me some good game. I need you to kill it, cook it, and bring it to me so that I can give you a blessing. Well, his mother, who was serving as a monitoring spirit in this account, was listening. And as soon as Esau left, his mother goes and gets her favorite child, who is Jacob, and says, hey, listen, your father is about to give the promise to the son, oldest son, Esau, to your brother, and we're going to go in and we're going to take it. Go get me 2 goats, ironic. Go get me 2 goats. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to make them just the way your father likes, because she knows everything about him. And then I'm going to send you in there so that you can give the food to your father and you can inherit the blessing. And then the son, Jacob, goes, but mom, I'm not hairy like Esau. I'm not covered like Esau. So my father's going to be able to detect that it's not me. And she goes, oh, don't worry about that. I'm going to put hair in the places that she knew the father would touch, because she's a monitoring spirit. And she watches him and she knows everything about him. Again, we're looking at this from a spiritual perspective. Yes, I know that was his wife. Yes, I know that she was the mother of both Jacob and Esau. So don't come for me. But in the spiritual eyesight, we're going to say that she wanted to go ahead and put the hair on the hands and on the neck, which is interesting. Like, she knew the man so well that she knew the places he would test would be the hands and the neck. And so she does all this, and then Jacob was so fearful because he had conviction, and he was like, I might be cursed if I do this. And she goes, you know what? Let the curse fall on me. That's how demonic she was moving. No fear of God, no fear of the curses of God, no fear of righteousness. She was after the blessing at any cost. So instead of the conviction, he goes through and does exactly as she said. So she hurries up and makes the food. He takes the food. He goes into his father and he's like, hey, father. Immediately his father had discernment. And he's like, is this Jacob or is this Esau? Remember, he was blind. So go with me in the spirit, blind. Even in blindness, you can have discernment. The world calls it intuition, but we call it discernment. And now Jacob is so sold into this demonic plan, because now he's pushed past his realm of conviction and now he's all in. And so because the mother's like, oh, I'll take the curse on me, he's all in because he doesn't think he's going to be cursed, right? That's exactly how the devil does. Oh, did God really say, you ain't really going to die? You won't really be cursed. So now he's all in and he ups the ante. And when his dad asks him, is this Esau or Jacob? He says, it's Esau, your older son. I done as you've said, and I've cooked you what you've liked to eat. Sit up and eat. And the dad goes, how were you able to find this food so quickly? Again, ding, 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 another ding of discernment. And he's understanding something's off. I'm blind and I hear what you're telling me, but this is not lining up because timing is off. The timing was off. And so he questioned the timing. How are you able to do this so quickly? Because we know the devil likes to rush things, making haste. And again, Jacob, so sold into the lie, now he's full on in, involved in the sinful ways, involved in the sinful behavior. He says, upping the ante, because the Lord your God put it in my path. Now this man has lied on God. This is a strong depiction of how sin multiplies and compounds itself. You start, first of all, knowing it's wrong. I don't want to touch it. I don't want nothing to do with it. Then you get roped in thinking that there will be no consequences. And then you compound on the evilness. This man went from, I would be cursed by God, to lying on God. Now, again, I told you that the monitoring spirit, his mother, Rebecca, already knew exactly how this man was going to roll. And she already had everything set up. She had that fur on his hands and the fur on his neck. And that's exactly what the father actually did. Isaac said, discernment was still ringing a bell for him. And he was just like, come over here and let me touch you. Because he felt that if I touch it, if I flesh to flesh, I'm going to be able to discern. Actually, when you try to feel something out in your flesh, you get more confused. because the devil already has it set up. If you switch over to try to understand and discern things in the flesh, the devil has already monitored your behavior and knows exactly what you're going to be looking for, and he's already figured it out. The devil was already many steps ahead in this situation. So when Isaac touched Jacob, who was pretending to be Esau, he could not recognize any longer that it really was Jacob, because the hair threw him off. The disguise, the mask that he laid his hands on to touch, because he tried to comprehend something in the flesh. And this is where it gets really crazy, because he actually asked this guy, "Are you really Esau?" He asked the deceiver to tell him the truth. That is like us knowing, I'm just going to say, just take a situation where you have a spouse. You have the spouse that's being cheated on, and you have the cheating spouse. The cheating spouse that's already doubled down in their sin. And the one that's being cheated on knows that I'm being cheated on. I know, I discern. God's given me the dreams. God's given me all the things. I know, I discern. I know I discern. But you're feeding me all of these lies and deceit. So I'm going to ask you just straight up, are you cheating on me? Do you really think that the cheater is going to say yes? If the level of conviction wasn't there to be afraid of God, that you would be cursed, and the level of conviction wasn't there that you would actually lie on God, the level of conviction is not going to be there to lie to you and say, yeah, I'm really that person. But Isaac was so in his flesh, he really thought that the devil would tell him the truth. He really thought that that spirit operating in deception would tell him the truth. Some of us are sitting in sin thinking that we're going to get the truth. And then it's the ultimate betrayal. It's the ultimate betrayal, because in Isaac's mind, I could just imagine that he's probably thinking, you know what, I'm going to do one last test. One last test. I tried to identify him by the voice. Something seems off. The voice seems off. The timing seems off. Because the Bible declares that my sheep hear my voice, and the strangers they won't follow. The reason why Isaac sent Jacob through so many tests is because he was never settled in his spirit. And when he got flesh involved, he got even the further confused. And so he thought, surely, my son wouldn't lie to me. So let me ask him. And then his son lies to him. And then he goes, if it's really you, come over here and give me a kiss. Now we know the servant is not greater than their master. If Jesus was betrayed by a kiss from Judas, our very enemy, seeking the blessing of God, seeking the promises of God over your life, is not afraid to come over there and give you a kiss of betrayal. If you got to go 4 and 5 rounds of verification, you shouldn't ask the deceiver if it's really them. You should stop and ask God, because the devil always tries to instill pressure, the pressure of time. Did you realize that they rushed it so quickly? He was like, how did this come here so fast? So there was like this spirit of pressure behind the situation, trying to speed up his decision to hurry up and announce the blessing. Instead of Isaac stopping and saying, wait a minute, I'm going to ask the Lord. Father, is this really you? Father, what is going on? Father, let everything hidden be revealed. He continued to ask the very one that was deceiving him. When your discernment is screaming, the worst thing you can do is try to figure it out with your flesh. Stop, take a moment, go to the Lord in prayer, and wait on the Lord. Pray, God, let everything that is hidden be revealed in the name of Jesus, and watch him work.